bet it was the music. I bet it was the music. Right. I shall wait. Louis Sampson, evening. Vix Tex, welcome back. Amalia Grassi, are we back? Yo, I think so. Gribbo, first in. Story of your life, Gribbo. Stuart, evening, Adrian. You're back. Good-o, says Amalia. Oh, good evening. Garen Davis, Matthew Whedon, Sandra Whittam, and I see you in Enigma Blue, and the Jacobite. Oh, the Jacobite. Evening, Rongan. Dolby 67, back. Cuban Pete, Lewis and Phil, racing driver. Hello. We'll give everybody just a couple of minutes to get back in. There would have been a time where I would have binned a lot. Stuart, I think it might have done. They couldn't work out what was going on. Falling like dominoes. The thing is, though, fair use and fair dealings you can use. Was it 10 seconds without breaching copyright? Right, let's have a look over there. You can see the Triffid. I don't know what to do with that yoga. Yogurt. Only those in the northeast will get the gag. Where is Ghetto what? Ghetto defendant. Don't know. Thank you, Mike. It was just let me explain. It was supposed to be just a routine eye test, booked for 5 o'clock. So it was just routine. Then it turned out not to be routine, and they were like, "Oh, I say, Mr. Allen, shall we?" Oh dear Lord. Yeah, well, put some drops in, but you can't drive back home. Luckily, I wasn't on my own, and it did weird things with me pupils, and well, looked like I was on the marching powder. You old Kia Colombian, and. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, thank you, Stuart. That's the Jaeger bombs are going down a treat. Yuck it in the bin, says BD Cool. No. Jane Psychic. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Jane. And Sandra Whittam, freezing weather, froze your stream. I know. If you hear a couple of thuds, I might need some welding gear, because even the brass bunkies are complaining it's bloody cold. Labour now wants to fine X if Musk doesn't stop Grok putting birds in bikinis. Oh, I say, Paulie Gallieri. What did you say on... Hang on a second. Nearly forgot to do something. You made me laugh, Paulie, out loud with the... what did you say? I'm trying to find it because it proper made me laugh. Because Paulie Gallieri, as you know, a regular to the body of the Kirk. Bloody thing! Brilliant, Paulie. That made me laugh. So, Rebel, I hope this is the right live, or may I be might be on the old one? No, it's here. So, Rebel. And you were Adrian, eh? Don't make any sense, Mike. Yeah, I think so, Rebel. I think I just because I played, but it was, artistic license. And the reason for the artistic license is they're all going to fall like dominoes. Shall we start with, where are we? Yeah, we'll start with something that's just breaking on the wires. It'll be front page tomorrow because I've told you, and I want to evolve this channel so it's not I told you so. So that it's you connecting the dots yourself. You get this. I've got the most educated and highly intelligent audience on YouTube, if I may be so bold. So it's not for me to tell you. It's for me to, what's the old martial arts adage? I can point at the moon. It's up to you whether you look at it. So I'm just going to, possibly, Les. So I'm just going to give you stuff. But as I've been saying for, nearly 3 years, because I told you what was coming, and in fact, little cockite, he said, well, we're going to bring conscription in. And everybody went, ooh, conscription be blowed. Well, he probably has been. He's married. And he, they were talking about conscription. So I laughed. So all these, the entitled idiots, the Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and, everything's on a phone. They think it's a game. Until the bombs start blowing up and the mate beside them gets their head shot off. And then they realise, oops. But the other night, I did almost a soliloquy about youth and how we're instructing them in the wrong ways of the world. Well, the United Kingdom, they always use that. It's not Great Britain. They always use United Kingdom when they want you to realise there's something that's not very nice. Well, the United Kingdom and France, they're going to send troops to Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire deal. That's Sir Keir Starmer. There's been some parry talks. Well, there definitely has. There's been 10 of them found guilty. There's been some Paris talks today. Starmer says it's a declaration of intent. Intense. They're bloody all over every city in this country. Who? Work it out yourself. Starmer says a declaration of intent signed today in Paris, and I quote, paves the way for a legal framework under which British, France, and partner forces could operate on Ukrainian soil. You know what that is, don't you? NATO. And what did Trump say and Putin say to the Europeans? Don't you dare. There's no NATO on Ukrainian soil. So the French, they're both cockeyed. They're both of them. I mean, small man syndrome, Napoleon blown apart. Bonaparte. Mr. Blown apart, you've got me saying that. Hang on, Paulie, what you said now? See, your comments. Ian McGee, you're back. I'm back. Starmlin can't hold us back. He'll try. 2 hands. All those pretty girls on X are AI created anyway. Can't even have a bit of titillation without queer Starmer and Labour killing it for everyone. Ask his wife. Who? I'm not telling you. That would... no. Hang on. Paulie always gets me with that every time. What you done, Paulie, man? Peter Sadler's in the body of the Kirk. Evening, Peter. Enigma Blue. We're not quite sure, but the general consensus is that the music at the beginning, they've gone, ooh, you bugger, what's he doing? Right, he's playing music. No, we're not going to have that. Fair use and fair dealings. Didn't play the whole song. Wonder if Adrian was reported to YouTube about copyright. Hope so, Les. Because it was fair use and fair dealings. Exactly, Stuart. What's a woman, Kia? Dunno. You got any Coca-Cola? 3 bags, Kia. What's bloody thing, and you're dead right on that. What's he said now? And then I'm going to get into it. Starmer supports Greenland's right to self-determination, but sticks his fingers up to the Chagos Islanders. Starmer is a wanker. I don't know what one of those is, Theo Bovril. It's a gag. I'll wait for you. Not the Bovril, where everybody going, bloody hell, what's Adrian just said? So, one mouthful. So the United Kingdom and France are going to establish military hubs in the Ukraine in the event of a peace deal with Russia. Two-tier says. Leaders from the so-called Coalition of the Willing. Is there any money in this? Has been meeting in Paris to discuss security guarantees for Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire with Russia. Well, there will be a ceasefire with Russia. And what is the intellectual pygmy that is Starmer, the queer fecker? What's he doing? Queer as folk. Man can't lie straight in bed. Mr. Flip-Flop, or if he's with the French, Mr. Philippe Philop. So, 2 things. 1, it's NATO in all but name, and 2, are they keeping an eye on what people get? Because if you look at the not Suez Canal, yes, Suez Canal, it was the French and the Brits that built it because they were making money from it. So if the United Kingdom and en français are saying, well, we're just going to keep an eye on who's getting what, and we'll divvy it up. Enigma Blue, who's running this country? Klaus Schwab. Well, Tony Blair, mainly, but the World Economic Forum. Blair is on the board of the World Economic Forum. He's everywhere. Dear Lord. I did a very funny gag in my head there while I was saying that, and I can't really say what the gag was because there's somebody in court for something, and I can't. Philip D. Flop. I'd heard that. It's probably an age thing, BD Cool, but you can take blue pills for it. As I said to you, Bovril, 2026, it's going to be wild, wild. It's going to be beyond your comprehension. So now, little Gen Z, you know, those that are either in the gap year, or they finished university and they're slacking, going travelling, doing absolutely bugger all, not bringing anything to society. They just think that they're entitled. There's your AK-47. There's your uniform. 6 weeks basic training up at Catterick, and then we're flying you out to Ukraine. Oh, you can't do that. I'll have a word with me mum. What do you mean you'll have a word with your mum? I'll have a word with me mum. Me mum will tell you. I can't do that. I've got ADHD. Brilliant. Because you'll concentrate all the more. That's what we need you in the army for. Oh, what do you mean? Are you on medication? Yeah. So you don't need anything then? ADHD? My hairy backside. Starmer will stay as PM into 2027, behave, the Bovril. Stop winding everybody up. No, he won't. He'd be barely looking to last another 6 months. At my age, it's popcorn time. So rebel. As we go to hell in a handcart, got to keep our spirits up. There's nothing wrong with popcorn. And Sister Mary knows a good Philippe de Flop. So to start this evening's Body of the Kirk, that was just something that landed on the wires literally a couple of minutes before I started. I'm not sure I'm going to do another Tuesday night, simply because my charity work continues into 2026. It's normally a Tuesday night, could be a Thursday night. If it's not a Tuesday night, well, I'll reevaluate. Gen Z, gap year from a degree in criminal race theory or gender studies. Or, do you know, did you hear about those intruders on J.D. Vance's house? I sat there thinking, the deputy president, vice president of the United States, and somebody got into his house. Didn't they have security on his house, on the vice president's house? No. So somebody somewhere is going to carry the can. They're going to get a shit kicking from somebody, probably the vice president. But do you know who got into the house? A trans activist. Now, I don't know whether they're an activist or not, because they're trans. I don't know whether they're to and from or from and to, but it's another one of these bloody activists. And there was me thinking the Purple Hair Brigade was old biddies. Do they do mochachinos on the front line? They'll be ordering Uber Eats. Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, I fancy a pizza. Anybody else? Bullets everywhere. Yeah, let's have an Uber Eats. I fancy a pizza. I'll ring it in. I bet Uber Eats gets there, or any other delivery service is available. I'm sure they'll end up going frontline, Ukraine. Oh, half an hour do. Mr. Pelosi entertained Rent Boys with Hammer. Oh, I say, it's Andrew James. If it's gone again, we'll bin it until tomorrow night. I don't think it has. It's still there. It's telling me it's live. The transformed into cassette player and snuck into the house. I mean, Stuart, did somebody just say eat? Depends what you're going to eat. You are what you eat. You know what the gag is. I don't have to say it on here. You're laughing now. Want the Xbox while in the bunkers? Of course. Ray Norton. Yeah. Hello, ma'am. I'm on the front line in Ukraine. Can you send me Xbox over? Have you got a postal address? Don't be silly, mother. There's bombs and everything going off. There's hardly a building here. They've all been smashed to bits. So how am I going to get your Xbox to you? I don't know. Deliver it yourself. Fly out and then just drive up. I can't do that. Yes, you can. I'll emotionally manipulate you. If you don't, I'll hit you. I'll hit you. I'll hit you. Blown to smithereens. Hello? Anybody there? Hello? Hello? Have you died? There's no respawn. I'm a sausage then. Oh, the both will I say. I am offering it to the ladies of the parish. Oh, that's me hibiscus. So there's Sir Keir Starmer saying, right, we're going to send the army out. So are we watching the decline of the country, and are we watching the Starmer's children, because they were taking their, there was sixth form at the beginning of the lockdown, so it's 5 years later, so they should have finished their degree. Oh, they can go in the army, go into the armed forces. That's what the royals do. Put them in the armed forces and send them in front line. And, all the other, I'm a socialist. I went to a comprehensive, me, and I had a child at 15-year-old. Brilliant. Slapper. Statutory rape. Who got done for it then? Ginger Growler. No one. So can I just tell you something? I did say I wasn't going to do 90 minutes, but it's probably going to end up being 3 hours at the rate I'm going. I just want this to be, as we evolve into 2026, I'm looking at bits and pieces. I'm on my Todd. There's not 20 of me. There's only one of me. I can only go so fast, which is a good thing, seemingly, I'm told. Slowly. I'm going to bring you clarity in the chaos, because it's just getting more chaotic. So you need clarity. So I'm going to bring it to you. You know that 2026 in February is going to be Chinese New Year. It's going to be a fire horse year. Not quite know what one of them is. Has it got anything to do with a coal fire? You know. Did you ever get your hands on a nice poker? I was always using my poker in our front room. So I want to ask you a question. No, I don't want you to vote. Don't need you to vote. I just want you to realise that, you've been distracted. And as I keep telling you, the management of the news media, the news cycle, is it's getting to a point where you don't know your arse from your elbow. You don't know which way is up or down. But I will tell you, in the past 2 weeks, there has been story after story after story which you've been diverted from. So let's ask the question: is Andy Burnham going to be the next Prime Minister? No, his boobs aren't big enough. Well, unless he's put weight on, it's got to be female. But there is going to be a new Prime Minister very, very soon. Very, very soon. Look at the local elections. Oh, Labour. Oh, no, we're going to do nice things. And, I guess I know I said we were going to bring your bills down, your energy bills down, and we weren't going to tax you, and we were going to give the waspy women compensation, and we were going to, we were going to do this and that and the other, and I've done none of it. But I still tell you I'm going to do nice things for you, because I said we were going to bring change. Change. Trans. No, just change. We haven't said what it is, how we're going to do it, or where we're going to do it. I mean, look at the amount of housing. They said, we're going to build 1.5 million new houses. And then we find out over Christmas, the new houses are going to be for the immigrants. And we know that they're not stop making me laugh, you wrong. If I am what I am, if I am what I eat, I'm a Toblerone. And I'm a caring, understanding 90s type. Tucker Carlson has put an official bid for CNN. Has he really? That'll be interesting. It won't be West Streeting. I know it won't, but he's a diversion man. So we know that there's only kind of 1 or 2, maybe 3 people that can become the next Prime Minister. One's Andy Burnham, the Manchester Mafia. The other one is Ginger Growler. Don't, Adrian, that's libelous. 3, it'll be Shemima Mahmood. That's it. It's not going to be anybody else. I mean, I know that Rachel from Accounts was probably told that's why she was crying. You can't be Prime Minister. You can't be the first Labour Prime Minister. No, female Prime Minister. No, we're giving that to Ginger Growler. You're shite. Oh, is that right, lads? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. but I'm making sure that you don't forget the stories that you shouldn't forget. Like the Democrats in America, they're just evil. They are abjectly evil. Why? Because they know where the money is. The moolah, the greenbacks, the Benjamins, they know where the money is and they want the money. And there's one politician in America standing back. I'm standing back to spend more time with me family. How do we and shite, said the spokesperson. And why are you doing that? Well, there's a load of corruption where I am, governor of Minnesota. I can't. The bloody Somalians, man. They're making billions. Got nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me whatsoever. So I'm standing down, I'm standing back, and I'm going to spend more time with my family. I think you're fine. You're going to spend more time in an orange suit, mate. I'm baking cakes with files in. And talking about people in prison, Bathhouse Barry, Tampon Tim, William Jefferson, 5D chess. And now the Democrats in America, just watch this. So, but basically, Trump's gone into Venezuela. Oi, Maduro, mate, come here. Yeah, the missus, is it Ivanka now? No, Melania. Melania's the new one, Donald. Is she? How many have I got? Just the one. Right. How many sons have I got? Well, you've got a very tall one. Very, very tall one. So what am I going to do? Well, Maduro, come here. We're going to have a word with you. We're going to sit you down and you're going to cough. You're going to cough everything. But what do I want to cough for? Because if you cough and you tell us what you did for the Democrats, Smartmatic and Dominion. Smartmatic and Dominion, what are you talking about? We're talking about electronic voting counters. Oh, voting machines. Yeah, Smartmatic and Dominion. Oh. So the Democrats, knowing that they're up against the ropes, and they could actually go to jail for the rest of their life for what they have done, seemingly, according to rumours, and there's no truth in any rumours whatsoever, for legal reasons. But Smartmatic and Dominion are the electronic vote counters. So the Donald has got the man who knows, coughing and singing like a jaybird. So what the Democrats do? You can't do that. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to put a new law through Congress. And that new law in Congress is going to tell you can't do anything more in Venezuela. Why? Well, because we've decided. Why? Because we're the Democrats. We can decide anything we want. No, you can't. I'm the president. Yeah, but you might find stuff out. What do you mean? Well, you might find stuff out about who's been taking millions and billions in trouser pockets, bungs, as the footy people would tell you. Bungs and brown envelopes. There's many a politician being taking millions. So now you know a little bit of oil, all the silver that's going through the roof at the minute, and all the gold. But there's two things that nobody's talking about except me. Ish. I've told you. Venezuela, keep your eye on it. It's come out of left field. Central banks. Rothschilds are going to have that. They've already got Syria and Iraq. They've got Venezuela. Hungary is hanging on by their fingertips. And there's Iran coming next. So in like 3 or 4 years, 5 central banks are going to fall to the Rothschilds. It'll only leave North Korea, and that's just a joke. And then you've got China and Russia. So there's only 3 central banks that they won't have. And it won't be long. But they're not talking about that in the mainstream press, are they? No, of course they're not. Because they're being told by the paymasters. But here's the stories that you've missed, that everybody's been diverted from. Knock, knock. Who's there? Jeffrey who? I knew you didn't kill yourself in jail. Whatever happened to Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, they released all the papers. And there were so many papers that people just went, oh, I'm not interested now. You're not going to tell us who it was. But they have. They've just put all the papers out. It's going to take you 100 years to go through all those papers. And whatever happened to smashing the gangs? Going to stop the boats and smash the gangs. Going to stop the boats and smash the gangs. We're going to stop the boats and smash the gangs. And they've absolutely done bugger all with either. So immigration, that's off the front pages. That's out of the news cycle. And the news cycle is a 2-hour news cycle now. Whatever happened to Trump suing the BBC? It was only just before Christmas. I'm going to sue them. Sue them for 10 billion. And the BBC's gone, oh, scheisen. What are we going to do? Well, that's the art of running a media campaign. That's the art of having the Black Arts, the 77th Brigade, and people in 10 Downing Street that manage the news cycle for the government. Because the government's never going to tell you the truth. No. So, Les Griffiths, most of the Rothschilds are gone. Well, can they give me a fiver? And by a fiver, I mean by 5 million. So, there's Rothschilds everywhere. Loads of them, like Triffids, like a yucca. Oh, I say, Des looks like it's going to be Cuba, says Les. Des. Is Des in the body of the Kirk this evening? Fantastic, Des. So, the reason why I played Falling Like Dominoes by Donald Byrd, and you can go to any streaming service and listen to the whole song, because it is simply a magnificent song. Falling Like Dominoes. Why would I play that? They've gone into Venezuela. They've got Cuba and others. Iran's on the way. So, it's 6 days in. Could it get any more wild? I mean, are we going to run out of popcorn by the end of January? You bet your sweet bippy. So I'm going to make some predictions around 2026. I'm going to make some tonight and some tomorrow. I've had to compartmentalise them. So I'm off to... I'll tell you that tomorrow night. Seemingly, there's going to be... well... You know how Göbekli Tepe and Turkey hasn't really been explored? And you know how in Israel there was the Jesus boat, which I've actually seen, I've been to and touched. Oh, I say, Reverend, you touched the Jesus boat? Oh, yes, nearly got arrested. I'm just touching it, I'm not stroking it. And when the earth moves, ask Sister Mary, that's why the bishops legged it. When the earth moved for Sister Mary, you would find that it uncovers things. So all over the globe, things are being uncovered. So I would suggest to you, because I was looking at Elon Musk the other day, and I was just thinking, what happened to your boring company? Now, I don't mean boring as in there's now to it and it's sending me to sleep. Boring as in, it sends a big thing into a big hole. I've heard of those parties before as well. But what about Musk and his boring company? What is he up to? He's the richest man in the world, seemingly. So what's he doing? And what happens if they send the boring thing down a boring hole? And what if they happen to uncover underground cities? Now, history tells us that... was it the Portuguese or the Europeans, the Spaniards, or somebody, Knight Templar probably, went across to the Americas, and somebody met the Indians in America, the American Indians. That's why they're called American Indians. Yeah, wrongin'. And the American Indians spoke to the travellers in English. So how did that work then? So what's going to happen to maybe Aztecian, maybe South American, maybe North American, maybe it could be in China? But there's going to be an underground city exposed somewhere because of the movements of the earth. I reckon in 2026, now I'm not suggesting it's going to be little green men, but I reckon the CIA or the FBI have got paperwork. They've definitely got receipts. I reckon they're going to produce the paperwork for non-threatening aliens. So we're going to be told there has been alien contact. So, Rebel, what you done? Hey up, duck. Exactly. Hey up, duck. Where have you parked your boat? So, I reckon during 2026, at some point, there's going to be paperwork produced, not the Epstein files, but there's going to be paperwork produced to say that there's been alien contact. Non-threatening, so they're friendly, they're cuddly. They've got no genitalia, but they're non-threatening and cuddly. Or is it going to be documentation to prove the Watchers? You know, in the Bible says there was this tribe called the Watchers who lived in the clouds, seemingly. Non-hostile, but they're the Watchers. And the other thing I thought about, because I do kind of, whilst you're looking over here, it's my job to look over there. And when the government says, look over there, because, well, there's this and there's this and there's this, I think, aye, why are you telling me that? Yeah, wrong. I think I'll look over here. So while I'm looking over here, I'm thinking, Mark Carney, hasn't Canada gone really quiet lately? What's going on with Mark Carney in Canada? I think we're going to find out in 2026. And then if you want to talk about Russia and China, there's China. I believe that they are, well, Xi Jinping is not very well. That will come out. Absolutely categorically, he's not very well. He might have to step down or keel over. You know, I wish him long life and I wish him good health, but we're human beings. We are fallible. And China, if Xi Jinping kind of carks it, technical term, obviously, their economy is going to go through the floor. Because I think it's barely hanging on by the skin of its teeth or by its fingertips. So there's going to be housing problems in China. They might have to demolish all the houses that they've built and nobody's taken up. It's like ghost cities all over China. And do you know what's coming? So if you thought that, and these are just little predictions for 2026. I just asked Alexa, do aliens exist? And she said, no, there's no proof that alien life exists, but the universe is a very big place. She's a liar, man. She's another female version of Starmer. She's not going to tell you. And AI's being told not to tell you, and it's going more and more woke. More and more woke. Because it's American. Have you noticed how it misspells? Have you noticed how it can't? It's like if I do some of these puzzles that are generated by the New York Times, you can't use English spelling because there's no such word. And then I thought back to the 80s. Look, I'm a guy that used to write news bulletins and traffic bulletins for the breakfast show on Radio Tees when I first started. I did early breakfast show and then I kind of did input into the breakfast show. And I used a typewriter. So we've gone from a typewriter through computers and then Word, and Word uses the American versions of English. Just hardery and shite, man. I'm so glad that it was drilled into me by rote that wasn't a teacher's name before you start making multi gags up. That I can spell nearly, but as Ray Norton's just said, I feel like I can't spell anymore because the Americans have kind of ruined my ability to spell. So I have the Oxford Dictionary and Thesaurus in my office. So I have to consult that all the time. Don't do it online. And don't do it with AI because they're going to lie, feckers. So China, it's going to be in the shite this year. I think there's going to be, because Trump's gone into Venezuela, the markets are like, whoa, nervy. And then they've realised 300 billion barrels of oil worth trillions of dollars. Oh, that's fine. Then if we're going to make money, then that's fine. So you do realise that banks, their only and sole job is to make money out of nothing. And the FTSE, or any share index, is there to make money out of nothing. So don't be believing anybody that says, oh, yes, everything's fine. There's going to be a readjustment of world economies. Let me tell you, it is going to impact the oil markets because Cuba and Nigeria and Venezuela, because you forgot about Trump dealing with Nigeria, didn't you? Nigeria is one of the top 20 oil-producing countries in the world. Venezuela has got the #1 reserves of oil in the world ever. That means in the universe, in the galaxy, in God's brain. So why is Trump having a go at the Nigerians? Bless them. He's now had a go at the Venezuelans. Venezuelans are on the streets celebrating. Can you, like, I watched a video by Jeremy Corbyn. I'm sure he had something shoved up his backside. No, we can't allow Trump to invade Venezuela. He didn't invade Venezuela. And have you noticed how the news media, the news cycle, has not shown one video of the Venezuelans out on the street of Caracas? What's Caracas? It's what you get if you go walking naked in the snow. So, ask your Alexa about Christmas 2026. It might be fixed now. No, I've switched it off. I'm not having her nagging me. I've already got somebody else who's got that job. So, this readjustment of the world economies, it's coming. But that's why Europe want war, because it's very profitable. It's very profitable for the politicians. The politicians are not there for the greater good of their people. They are there because they are psychopaths. They are corrupt. That's why they just launder all of the taxes that's sent into Ukraine that end up in their trouser pocket. They're corrupt. Do you need me to tell you that they're corrupt? Don't you understand that they're corrupt? Which part of corrupt don't you understand? So the world economies, they're all going to shit themselves. Oh, bloody hell. Well, it wasn't me. I mean, it could have been Dennis Healy. It could have been Yang Wee Mang who shorted the pound. It was probably Yang Wee Malstein. But he shorted the pound when he was Chancellor, seemingly. Rumour has it. Liz Truss. She's trying to make money out and out by YouTube. Oh, I say, I'm Liz Truss, one-time Prime Minister, and making millions on the speaking circuit. Well, get up on YouTube then. So the world economies, all of them, because that's why it's called the world, it's going to impact the oil markets. That's why Trump wants Nigerian oil and Venezuelan oil and Cuban oil and maybe Libyan oil. He's just going to eat it all up because Putin's evidently, now I can't vouch for this because this is not a fact, it's just my interpretation, my intuition. Putin will have gone, whoa, Donald, mate, get as much energy as you can, get as much oil and gas and get control of it, because the little intellectual pygmies in Europe, they haven't got any. They're going to have to take it from me and you. So make sure you've got all the oil in Venezuela. Well, the reason why I mention that is because I believe there will be oil problems between Russia and China, because China's going to tip over. China needs stability, world stability, and they're at it with every country everywhere around the world because the Chinese Communist Party wants to run the world. Now, it's the little Indians in India that are going to be the new superpower. That's why Starmer's gone there going, right, lads, shall we make a deal or three? India's going to be the new superpower. Little Indians don't go, I'm only going to do half a day now. So there's going to be instability around oil. Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, China. It's about controlling the energy of the world. And we've got some idiot that plays a bloody ukulele. Do you think that's going to get us any gas? And do you know something else? Now, this is probably, I might have to code this for you, but you understand when I say, when the ball hits the net, does the umpire say 0 or does it say 15 all or 40-30? I never think the umpire says it's hit the net 0 when they're playing tennis. It's a scam. It's a bloody scam. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. At the beginning of this live, I told you I was fecking freezing tonight. I mean, Jesus, if you hear a couple of thuds, just bring the brass monkeys round with the welding gear because I might need it. Honestly. So Amalia, have I said gotten? Ill-gotten gains. So I just want to say that what I was talking about, the tennis, it's a scam. It's all a scam. Because they're laundering more. Because there are certain politicians that have companies that are benefiting from the tennis. And that's how I'll refer to it now to get round losing me channel. So the tennis players, corrupt ones, that'll be the politicians. Some of them have companies that are dealing with energy and 40 love. How can that be? How can you have somebody, a politician, that has a vested interest in companies that are winning contracts for the greenery of the country? You can't. Thank you, Jane. I can't. A Peruvian. What do they call them? Llamas. Because, look, if little Peruvians can walk around in the bloody midwinter and freezing their socks off, I'll have one of them because it'll keep me warm. Which is why I've been wearing it every day for the last week. And me ski base layers. That's how cold it is. So I just want to, I just want to say this to you. Global warming. Bloody -5 last night. To call that global warming. Friend of mine in France, -10. How's that global warming then? Inconvenient truths, eh, mate? So when are we going to... I mean, I know it's winter. I know it's easy because we're Brits and we understand that it's winter for a few weeks every year and we complain like buggery every time that it comes around. Oh, snow. It's been snow today. Wonderful. Most people are losing their minds. Me, I'll get me bloody skis out. I've got no hills round where I am. Plenty of sea, and that's never going to freeze over. So... Can't go skiing. Well, you can. I see you. Tennis has always been fixed. I do. I hope you're being facetious, I see you, and realise that I was trying to code and then decode so that you would get the meaning of it's the ball's hit the net and the points are 0. So it's net zero tennis, if you know what I mean. So I can't believe that we're falling for this. Again, it's a scam. Global warming, my hairy backside. No, it don't exist. Oh, remember the chlorofluorocarbons? Bloody hell, where did I dig that one from? The chlorofluorocarbons, the CFCs, it created a massive big hole in the ozone. And in the 80s, if we weren't going to die from AIDS, we were going to die because there was a big hole in the ozone, and the ozone didn't like us, and all the sunshine would come through, would all be burned to a crisp and die. The whole world, except the elite, because they knew they weren't. And then 20 years later, they went, oh, by the way, climate change and global warming, yes. Do you know the chlorofluorocarbons that put a hole in the ozone? Yeah, your deodorants, yeah, the ozone's repaired itself. There's no hole there. What do you mean? There's no hole in the ozone layer? How did you manage to fix that? We didn't. It just happened naturally when we were being told global warming. And then they realised that that wasn't a good enough scam of getting the taxpayers' money out of the coffers of the country into their trouser pocket. So they had to reinvent something else. And it's going to be you, me, and every daft bugger in this country, we're going to have our own carbon footprint. That's why digital ID is there. And if you've been on planes far too many times, they'll be saying, you can't travel. No. Climate change, net zero. I mean, little cockite, not Starmer, Rishi, he said, we're not going to do the net zero thing by 2050 because it's just not possible. So I reckon it's all about the oil for the moment, 300 billion barrels of it. I reckon that Venezuela is going to be switched off for a while because the Democrats are going to go, Trump, you can't do that because we said so. We're the Democrats. We're evil. We are abjectly evil. So we're going to stop you because you're stopping us making money corruptly. So we're going to have you impeached in 2026 and we are in charge. We don't care. We just want to make money. And the American people are going, oi. Hang on a second. You're going to do what? This is for the benefit of all Americans. Well, all the democratic Americans, everybody else can go and starve. So I believe there's going to be some kind of energy crisis, possibly worldwide. Now, remember, Liz Truss told us this 3 years ago. Remember when Liz Truss said there's going to be an energy crisis? We can't get as much oil from Russia. Have you seen me, dear caller? Don't Google it. Oh, brilliant. Les says, remember when they wanted to install wells because poor Suki, I'm sure she does for money, had to walk 2 hours to the nearest... I just said it out loud. Me brain's on loudspeaker. Had to walk 2 hours to the nearest water supply. Why didn't her lazy twat of a dad move the hut to the water? All a con. I know, Les, I know. So all the climate change con, it's to get money. It's to get more and more and billions. I mean, somebody said to me today, they sent me a text saying, are you aware that one of these big windmills, they use, is it per day or per year, 100 gallons of oil? And there's the ukulele playing twat. That's the thick and the wise. Hang on. The wise and the symbol. Soul Rebel. Is that Sucky long time? Depends how much money you pay her. Soul Rebel. Yeah, the green energy companies. Is Rich in the body of the Kirk? Eve. Who's funding Miliband? Good question. I think his own companies, Rich, because he's got companies that actually are dealing in the space that he's minister for. How does that work then? And there was a question I was just sitting here, kind of preparing myself, centering on myself before I started this live, and I thought to myself, who's funding all of these Venezuelan demonstrations? I mean, as it was said on Sunday night in the live, who the bloody hell had a warehouse full of, not Ukrainian flags, Venezuelan flags? Who had a warehouse of Venezuelan flags that suddenly appeared on the streets of this country? I know. So who is bankrolling all the demonstrations? George Soros. Really? Or is it the Democrats? It's not bloody Trump. I know. It'll be somebody on the left. It'll be somebody connected with WEF, or it'll be somebody connected to a billionaire that wants to usurp everybody and everything. And if you look at... Maccabee fan ban. It's now all kicking off. The police chief that wanted to ban any reportage about Islamists having a go at the Maccabee Jewish football fans. Anyway, so I believe what's going to happen is, and I keep telling you, the only places to look at, the only places are Britain, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, because they're all controlled by WEF puppets. So if the WEF, Tony Blair, Klaus Schwab's being kind of kicked into touch now because he did stuff that he shouldn't have been doing. I can't take it any more than that because he's litigious. But Klaus Schwab and Tony Blair and Mark Carney on the board of the WEF. So you've got Canada and Blair who wants to run the world. You've got Australia doing as they're told. And you've got little beautiful New Zealand. Well, they're going to have problems this year. Mark my words. Big problems. They all are, because they're going to crash the economies. Why are they going to crash the economies? Because you will have nothing and you will be happy. So how are they going to do that? They're going to crash everything. I've told you. Crypto. Because what they're going to do is they're going to transfer everything over to central bank digital currencies, which is why the Rothschilds want to run all of the central banks, because banks' job is simply to create wealth from nothing. And I believe crypto is going to have a bit of a bang. I'm absolutely positive that Bitcoin and possibly one other, maybe Ethereum, if you're into the crypto space, you know what I'm talking about. Either Ethereum, not XRP. XRP is going to go to the moon. It's been set up. But I reckon that crypto is going to have some wobbles, maybe couple this year. And there's every chance that it will devalue some of the leading coins by, I don't know, 40, 50%. somewhere in that region. So, if I would advise you and guide you, right now, 2026, I would do as much research into crypto and blockchain and central bank digital currencies. Do as much research and get as much understanding as you can, because there will only be one opportunity. And you're going to have to grab the opportunity with as much as you can. So if you've got maybe, 50 quid, 100 quid, because that's the kind of generational wealth. Those kids that have been sitting there putting their pocket money in, and they may have £1,000 or £2,000 or £3,000. If whatever coin they've chosen, and it's the ISO 2022 coins. And remember, I'm not giving you any financial advice whatsoever. None. Because I can't. This is YouTube. You're not allowed to do that. So what I'm saying to you is research and learn. And if you want to talk about it here, bring it on. I'll let you know what I know, and only what I know. And once we get past this crypto problems in 2026, they're going to impose regulation. So once this is done and gone, then you won't be able to get into the crypto space, because they'll have regulated it within an inch of its life. And who are the main Bitcoin holders the world over? BlackRock, Trump, and somebody else, Satoshi Tomi Noti something. And they don't even know who it is. Some people are saying if you find out who it is, you won't touch Bitcoin with a... could be the CIA, won't be the FBI, could be the CIA. CIA is the biggest terrorist organization in the world, in my view. So there'll be two stages. That it will recover, but I believe what they'll do is there'll be an event, a black swan event of some kind, and it will just change the whole market. Crypto, houses, fiat currencies, not the car, you're wrong. And what they'll do is they'll crash it so that it loses a shit ton of value, and then that's when they'll get in. They'll pile in, and then they'll inflate it back up, and then they'll make quick money and big money. And I'm not talking about, the odd £1,000. I'm talking about generational wealth. I'm not talking about riches. I'm talking about wealth. You'll get one shot at it. So you need to learn and understand what it is. So at the moment, we are being distracted by gold and silver. So Trump's into Venezuela. Oi, 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 where's all the silver? How are you, lads? Just put it in the back of my truck. Melania's going to drive it back to Mar-a-Lago. It's not very far away. It's only Florida. So Melania, just fill it up. She's got an HGV license, so Melania can get it back to Mar-a-Lago. Come on, lads, all the gold, all the silver. Don't worry about the bloody crypto, but I'll swap you. I'll give you a Trump coin for a Bitcoin. Yeah, it's fair swap. I'm president of the United States of America. Amalia, like Melania, I've just... Sorry, Amalia, I saw your name and I've suddenly made you the First Lady of America. So Melania can drive an HGV. She'll take it back to Mar-a-Lago. Well, we haven't got any in Fort Knox. That's why we need the gold. Can we borrow it, lads? Yeah, we'll give it back. Not sure when, but we'll give it back. Last year, silver, 25 quid an ounce. It's on its way to $200 an ounce. So it's gone up nearly tenfold in 12 months. Oi, 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 oi. Well, it will do. And remember, I've told you this for years and years and years. I'm offering it to you. Take it if you wish. But the corrupt politicians, because they're not really politicians, they're just corrupt entities. They're setting up solutions to problems we never knew we had. That's what they're doing. Are you sure? I'm absolutely bob on. They're giving you solutions. Oh, we're going to smash the boats. We're going to smash the boats, and we're going to smash the gangs. Did they? They don't need a solution for that. But, well, Ukraine, we're laundering a shit ton of money. Well, we're giving Sniffy £3 billion a year. £3 billion. Yeah. But what about the freezing pensioners? Don't care. Die if they... I don't care. They can die if they want to. But I'm going to give all my money to Sniffy, and he's going to launder it. He's going to buy stuff, and then some people will get a kickback. So I was going to do a sermon about Americano, because I think that Starmer shit in it, and he could be next. I have two things that I've been researching today for you. And I know that sometimes when I do deep dives, they can be a bit dry. But what I've got for you, tomorrow night, it's going to make your hair curl. It is going to make your hair curl. And what I'm going to do is I am going to link corruption in this country to American corruption. I can't tell you how for the moment, because I'm working on sources to corroborate my information. And once I've done that, and I can corroborate what I'm saying, I'm going to say it. Because then legally, I'm on very solid ground. But I'm not going to insinuate anything tonight until I deliver to you something that should be front page of every single daily newspaper the minute it comes out of my mouth. It's that big. And that's why I'm making sure that all of my sources are correct. Told you about climate change. Pick a lane. -5 today, might get down to -8 before the weekend. And they're telling us global warming's affecting us. We're in shite, man. The great Mother Earth, Gaia, has got more of a say than these corrupt politicians. The corrupt politicians are just using everything to bankrupt the countries to get as much transfer of wealth into their bank accounts or their crypto accounts that nobody can see. That's what they're at. And then I thought, I said to you a little earlier that I believe there's going to be papers produced to say that, well, aliens exist. So I then decided I was going to do a piece on Galatians in the New Testament, because in Galatians they say that Abraham and Ishmael were allegory. Abraham and Ishmael don't exist, never existed. They are merely allegorical stories. They're made-up characters. But what does that mean, Reverend? It means there's no such thing as the Jewish faith, Judaism, and there's no such thing as Muslims. I mean, I know they worship Muhammad, peace be upon him. But according to the allegorical stories in Galatians, in the New Testament, in the Bible, the Abrahamic religions, Islam, Judaism, don't exist. The technical problem with that is that Judaism has the Torah, which is the Old Testament, the books before the New Testament, and the New Testament was only produced by the kiddie fiddlers in Rome, Council of Nicaea. But do you know if the aliens land? That's all religions buggered. Technical term, evidently. So if there's proof of aliens, what are the religions going to do? Because it's not in their good books anywhere. None of the prophets. I mean, if you want to look at Judaism, Haggai was a prophet before Jesus. And the Jews believed that Haggai, 300 years before the Christ, was the Christ. And I've been to Haggai's grave in Jerusalem. You can go. There's no there, just a hole in the wall. Do you think they call it a glory hole? If you know, you know. Might have to explain that to a few people. So what they're going to do is the New World Order, and I may save this for tomorrow night, because I have proof that the New World Order, if you want to call it that, is already in place. The infrastructure for the New World Order is in place. I have the tea, the receipts, whatever you want to talk about, because it's happened right in front of your nose and you didn't even realize it. I am going to keep that for tomorrow night, because I need to explain it to you. And everybody was saying, well, what's Trump going to do? What's Trump going to do? I'm just telling you. I have the proof. The New World Order has begun. And you're probably, now, look, 3 years ago, I was telling you stuff and you were like, what is this guy on? Has he got more Jaeger bombs in that bloody hibiscus? It's really simple. It's a KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm going to keep it simple, stupid, tomorrow night from 7:30. And I'm being serious. It's in place. The infrastructure for the new world order is already there. Not saying any more. I do my research. And I know what they don't want you to know. Rich, Starmer, he's still scaring me. Has he got his clothes off again, Rich? Can you speak Ukrainian by any chance? Tomorrow, we're on double bubble, Aid. Top man. Thank you, Soul Rebel. You definitely are. It's Tom Harney's in the body of the Kirk. Oh, allegorical, distant cousin of the Croco comical. Yeah, exactly, Tom Harney's. Most people haven't understood what you've said. But I will say that there is... How can I do this? Before I wind the body of the Kirk up this evening, slightly shorter than usual, but I think I've given you enough information to bring you back tomorrow night, whether you watch it live or not. I would suggest that you do, because you're going to have to digest some very unpalatable topics. But I am going to tell you, I'm going to expose corruption on both sides of the Atlantic. I'm going to show you how the New World Order is in place. That would relate to Venezuela and Ukraine and France and the United Kingdom, the Great Britannia, going into the Ukraine. That's why I started tonight's live off with Donald Byrd's Dominoes, falling like dominoes. So whether it's 6-7, whether it's stuff you don't understand, what I will say to you, quite honestly, is that the world doesn't need more noise. What I believe the world needs is love, sweet love. Sorry, wrong song. What the world needs now is more people who can sit with uncertainty, because these are 6 days in. 6 days. Another 359 days to go before we get to another one, but 6 days in. The uncertainty is palpable. But what I'm hoping the community we're getting together here at the body of the Kirk, the theatre of the mind, are people who can sit with uncertainty without being bent out of shape by it. The free thinkers, the truth seekers, the people that will take this little bit of jigsaw and go, oh, I know where that goes. It goes there. It's a bit of the sky. You see, power thrives on confusion. I'm not being unkind, but the power that thrives on confusion is not because people are stupid, but because people are tired. Over the last 5 years, you just sit quietly with yourself. Whether you're driving your car, or you're at home, or you're with a kid. Well, it won't be quiet if you're with the kids. But if you sat there and recognized the last 5 years, how utterly insane it's been, from the lockdowns to rattling your pots and pans to having jabs, and anyone that did do the right thing, or they perceived to be the right thing, and took the jab, I wish you well on your journey, because everybody was trying to do the right thing by themselves, their family, their community, their street, their cul-de-sac, anything. But do you know something? Anybody that comes to me on social media and they've got one of those god-awful profile pictures with I've had the jab or I support Ukraine. Mugs. I'm not friends with people like that. If they weren't critical enough to think, then I don't know what else I can do. But I recognize that it's not through stupidity. It's through being tired. So I will offer you this. Genuinely. If tonight has helped you steady your footing in the world, in life, please just take that with you on your journey. Clarity in the chaos isn't a destination. It's a practice. And it's how people stop being led in the dark. And what was I thinking before I said that? I was thinking about showing you the front pages of two newspapers, probably the most read or bought newspapers. I'll show you the Sun, today's Sun. Now, I'm going to have to read this because it's kind of backwards. But remember, the Sun is not a newspaper. It is not a newspaper. It's a showbiz rag. They never get the price wrong on the front, never. But did that improve your life today by knowing that Amorim has been fired for £10 million from Manchester United as manager? Just remember, if the people start revolting, give them bread and circuses. Thousands of years. Loads of my friends still have their I've been jabbed pictures on their Instagram pages. I'm not suggesting I wouldn't be friends with them, but in that case, they're promulgating evil. And I just quietly retreat away from them on social media. In real life, if people have ideology that's different from mine, I just wouldn't allow stuff. And then, if you look at the Daily Mail, look at that. They're going to talk about Trump buying or getting into Greenland and raiding Greenland. And, have you noticed what it says there? It says America's New World Order. And you missed it. Not that. Not that. You missed the New World Order being implemented. I didn't. The minute I saw it, I just thought, holy Jesus, we're there. And I'm going to explain tomorrow night how we got there, what it is, and who it is. It's really, and it's not, don't believe that it's a country, because it's not. Don't think, well, China's going to rule the world. They're not. They've tried, but their economy won't allow them. Russia, no. America. Trump's playing 5D chess. I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to listen to what I tell you tomorrow night, and I want you to go, fuck me, Rev. I want the hairs on the back of your neck to stand up. I want your hair to go curly. I want you to go to other members of your family going, holy Jesus, do you realise? Now, look, I get attacked all the time. I get people who think they know what they're talking about attacking me, and they don't understand. I'm also playing 5D chess, but I'm also playing 5D chess with the ruling bodies of certain things. I've got to be very careful and circumspect about how I run things on these lives. But I get the message through to you. Some would say cleverly, some would say stupidly. But people attack me all the time. Do you know why they attack me? There's an old saying in the northeast of England that if a parrot gets out, the spuggies, the sparrows, will attack it and kill it. Because the sheeple don't like multicoloured, plumed, winged things. The spuggies will kill it because it's got colour. They don't understand it. So the sheeple, who don't have the intellectual rigour to be able to grasp all of this that's going on. And sometimes, look, I'm only human. I'm hanging on by me fingertips all the time. But I've told you before, I am here to be in service of you, your family, your community. And thereby, I'm in service of me, my family, and my community. Because there's going to be some wild stuff going on in 2026, like you've never experienced before, like you can't comprehend. And you're going to have a space where you can come to clarity in the chaos, where you can talk to people in the chat. You can listen to what I'm saying and be part of this community that I am endeavouring to create in 2026, so that you get the steadiness for you to walk in the chaos, knowing what it's all about and what it's for and what is happening and how you can predict things. I did that with a Clywyd Piven strategy. I did that with other things. And I will keep making it KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Hang on a second. What's Amalia said? Albert Metcalf. Stop the world. I want to get off. Who was that? Was it, which comedian was it? Was it Kenny Wilson? Kenneth Williams. Was it Kenneth Williams or was it Spike Milligan? Somebody had a book called Stop the World I Want to Get Off. My hair is already curled this year. I know, Vixtex, we're only in 6 days. I mean, who could have predicted it? There's a lot of sadness around in Switzerland and in off the east coast of Yorkshire. But there is always a tragedy, a front page tragedy, headline tragedy in between Christmas and New Year. It's an awful thing. But that's why on Sunday I took a different tack to it, where we need to, even though the kids, because they've left school, so they think they know everything, they don't know themselves. So how can they know anything, let alone everything? They don't know who they are. But life will teach them. Because I'm telling you this, karma, it's a horrible thing. And it has a long, long memory. It never forgets. So I wish everyone well. I wish everyone that comes into the body of the Kirk and your children and your grandchildren and everybody connected with you, your family, everything. Soul Rebel says, yeah, innocence has gone. I also get that. But you know something? As cynical as I am, I would rather protect people with knowledge and context and understanding than just leave them to their own devices. Because they're not bright. Look at the way relationships are nowadays. If I can be so bold, if you look at relationships, women for 50 years have been telling everybody, the men mainly, oh, I want a sensitive man. And now that they've got sensitive men, they're like, what's wrong with the men? And the men have gone, well, don't really want to be in a relationship with a woman. I'll just kind of chill out with me homies. And I'll just, have a peaceful life. Because the only thing a man wants, and I'm not being misogynistic in any way, shape or form, but take it from me. The only thing a man wants is peace. The young'uns, oh yeah, I want Ferraris. I want money, gold. I want riches. I want to be wealthy. I want to do it. It won't feed your soul, but peace will. And that's why I do my little bits of charity work, to be in service of other men, be in service of other people, be in service of other communities. So there is that we have politicians that can't even say what a woman is. They have to wait for the judicial review and say, oh, well, this is the definition of a woman, before they'll say what a definition of a woman is. How crass and stupid is that? Because they're on the grift. They're corrupt. They're making money, millions and millions and millions from the taxpayers' money that gets out of this country. They're just going to play along. Rich says, I had it, Amalia. My job insisted on it. No issues for me or anyone I know. At the moment, Rich, I do wish you well. You can have your blood washed. Because I think some of the royals had it. The minute the cancers started hitting the royals, they paid a lot of money to have their blood washed. So, bloody hell, Amalia, 4. You see, this is why I always say I don't judge people that had it, because people were trying to do the right thing by everyone. It's the politicians, it's the scientists that made a shit ton of money. The Gates of this world, the Fauci of this world. I'm not going to name any individuals in this country because there are plenty of them. And the blonde clown, Bojo the clown, he thinks he can come back into politics. He was at the head of the government. And then we had Sunak as Prime Minister, allowing Michael Gove to have a VIP lane that ended up with Michelle Mone turning over £200 million worth of PPE stuff. And they're not going to pay the 148 million back. It's corrupt. All of it. So tomorrow night, we're going to nail my colours to a very clear flagpole. I'm going to show you how there's corruption, what the corruption is, and where the corruption is. And I'm actually going to name some people who might not want to be named. So join me tomorrow night. Wednesday night, the usual. It'll be the parish notes from 7:15, then we'll get into it from 7:30. But I've already done most of my research for tomorrow night. I think you might just enjoy it somehow. So be well, look after yourself, stay safe. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you as ever for your continued support. But tomorrow night's going to be wild, because the wildness will continue for the whole of this year, so I may as well jump on that particular bandwagon, and I'll make sure it's wild tomorrow night. There's other stuff that I haven't told you to do with digital ID. If you think that I'm holding back tomorrow night, I'm going in hard, baby. It's going to take your breath away, because what I've got, nobody else has. Just my instinct, just my intuition, just my experience, 47 years in media. See you tomorrow night, 7:15. 7:30 for the real start, baby. Look after yourself. Be nice. Don't forget to smash the likes. Thank you. I'll hang on for a couple of minutes. Let's smash the likes, please, and get it over 100 before I bring the end of the live tonight. So thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. My name's Adrian Allen. Don't forget your emergency Battenberg. But this is the theatre of the mind. We decode life. We decode everything. So you get the understanding and context around everything that's going on. And the theatre of the mind is not a show, it's a mission. The mission for truth continues tomorrow night, Wednesday night. See you then.